when I start these reaction videos, and if I start with you know what, this is you can always tell that I'm gonna be upset. So let's start. You know what? I thought we really could have played spoiler today. But as I said before, and a couple weeks ago, I tried to reiterate some Stephen A. Smith words. I'll probably get to those later. But this gave me pretty much a replay of all the painful losses I've experienced as a Packers fan. But people were counting us out, and just some very stupid ass decisions made by almost everybody today. Alright, so what's up, guys? Nate the Boss here, back with another Packer reactions video, and today I'm going to be giving my reactions to Packers and the Niners. It was a stupid game. It was a stupid game. I mean, they had its highs and lows, but I feel like there were a whole bunch of miscues. I know the defense, can't be perfect, but you know the three words that are coming out of my mouth, and it should be addressed here pretty soon. Fire Joe Barry. Fire Joe Barry. Please, God. He comes up with some of the worst defensive play calls ever. I don't want to put much indictment on, the play calling, but I would put more indictment on, the individual players' decisions. Like that one play where one of our DBs, I forget who it was, he was supposed to help on George Kittle, then he took Brandon Ayuk instead, and he gave up a touchdown. I'm really, really upset at that. That's one mistake. And then the two dropped interceptions. Two interceptions that, hell, I probably could have made. I mean, Darnell Savage, if he had that interception, he would have changed, the whole complexion of the game, because that probably could have been a house call. And then Keyshawn Nixon, he would have given us good field position. I'm not sure if that was the drive where Jordan Love threw his first interception. But man, those two interceptions really could have brought the momentum to the Packers side, and I think they could have done something. So I'm putting some indictment on the two dropped interceptions. The second thing I want to kind of indict is Anders Carlson, because that missed field goal with 6 minutes left, that would have put us up by 7, and Jordan Love wouldn't have made a very poor decision on that final drive. And the final person I don't really hate to indict, because for most of the game he played pretty well, but then when we got up 21-14, he played super complacent. Jordan Love, I want to put a lot of indictment on him with the two interceptions. I mean, some passes he broke and even hit the broadside of a barn. And the one where you're throwing it across, that one throw where he threw it across the body at the end, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just throw it out of bounds, because it's not desperation time yet. That gives me a replay of when Brett Favre threw that interception against the Saints. Okay, but that was when he was on the Vikings. But that gave me instant flashbacks. Although I don't even remember watching the game. I was only 5 years old at the time. But watching the highlights of that game, good Lord, what are you doing? That is the dumbest throw you could ever make. And you're always coached. to never throw the ball across your body. And then Matt LaFleur, I feel like after we went up by 7, he had some shitty-ass play calling. That Aaron Jones one was something. But when I saw a graphic, Kyle Shanahan was winless when trailing by 5 or more points in the fourth quarter. Oh my God, I just felt like something was bound to happen. Because here we go. As we talked about in the beginning, yep, this is what Green Bay does. This is what they do. Every single time you expect something from them, they just let you down. They just let you down. I don't really want to say it, but if I'm Jordan Love, I'm going to take that back because, like, I would have said it in week 15, but, like, this is going on the list of heartbreaking playoff losses that on highlight tapes, I'm just going to hit the fast forward button. Because whenever, like, I just get my hopes up, the Packers always just let, like, their fan base down. I mean, that's who they are. That's who they've been ever since they won the Super Bowl. And I thought, you know what, if they can get by the Niners, then they could probably get by Tampa Bay or Detroit and then go to the Super Bowl. I thought there was a glimmer of hope. It's just another what could have been game. Another what could have been game. And I've mentally kept a long list of games that just are what could have been. Fuck! Well, to be fair, for most of the game, I feel like there were some moments where our defense played pretty well, even with like 4-man rushes. And I think the offense was in rhythm for most of the game, but then we pretty much choked the game away in typical Packers fashion. It's just we can never get over the hump of the Niners, you know. I mean, every single time you believe in Green Bay, they just let you down. And now the Packers, I feel like their fan base, after they beat Dallas, they got their hopes up. So maybe, you know what, we always should never get our hopes up anymore, because then they're just going to let us down. But, okay, that's probably, like, the last 8 minutes is just kind of the negative perspective of everything. But the one thing I'm actually kind of happy with the last 5 weeks, because I did not really expect us to be, like, in the divisional round, like, let alone the playoffs. Hell, if the Seahawks or the Vikings even got in, well, they probably would have gotten killed by the Cowboys, because they don't really have the talent to beat the Cowboys. And who knows what the Cowboys would have done if they won in the wild card round. They probably would have lost to the Lions in the divisional round. But, God, I feel like when Darnell Savage dropped that interception, I didn't want to admit it at the time, but I feel like shit was going to hit the fan at some point. And, like, those chances where we could have had points, and that one spot on that tush push, oh my God, that was a horrible spot. That was a terrible spot. That's probably one of the biggest things I'm frustrated at, because that's at least 3 points. That is at least 3 points. And the officiating was just, the officiating was pretty good, but except for that one time. I feel like that was a horseshit spot. It looked like he got the first down. I feel like I'm not really upset about it because I've already been through the pain before. You know, with the Niners and the Bucks, and I mean all these terrible, heartbreaking playoff losses. I mean, I'm to the point like, when is enough enough? Well, I mean, I feel like this year was just kind of something to build on. Because nobody expected us to get this far. And I feel like the Packers, I mean, 2 of the wins were pretty lucky. I think they got pretty lucky in 2 of their wins this year. But I felt like they could have gotten lucky today. But they just shit the bed. Again. So, where do we go from here? Well, we gotta go into off-season mode. We have the 25th pick, and then we have a second round pick from the Jets because Aaron Rodgers blew out his Achilles and didn't play 65% of the snaps this year. So, we gotta go into off-season mode. Oh, man, it's just gonna be a long couple months as a Packers fan. Just looking back on this loss and what could have been. I mean, I still think Jordan Love is him, but I mean, okay, we were playing the best defense and one of the best, arguably the best team in football, and I feel like we proved that we could have been something, but then, of course, we always just let our fans down. That's just who we are, and next year we better not do it, because I'm really hoping for a Super Bowl. I feel like that's setting the bar high, but I feel like the way the season ended, like that 4-game win streak, check that. I feel like we could be a threat next year to the Lions. It's going to be a crazy year next year. Maybe I'll make a video over like what we need to do this off season. I mean, I know one of the things on our agenda, and then like free agency and the draft. I gotta do a little bit of research on that before I make my analysis, and like who's like leaving, who's like their contract is expiring, and like whose 5th-year options we should pick up and all, But bottom line, this was just a stupid game. I mean, it's not one of my painful losses because I felt like we had really low expectations going into this game. But the 2021 one was like one of the worst. The 2014 one and the 2020 one, those are probably my top 3 worst playoff losses as a Packers fan. This might be up there, but it's just not as painful. But that's all I gotta say in this video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Like and subscribe. Peace out. Go Paco.